The following training is sponsored by the Niagara Library System. We serve our member libraries in Niagara, Orleans, and Genesee counties. Please visit your local library homepage and use your library card to get access to streaming videos, downloadable music, audiobooks, ebooks, and even more from the comfort of your own home. Thank you. Hello, welcome back. I'm going to jump right into this. This is part of a three-part series. This one is a big one. Kids are going back to school and all of that, and this was from Mark Kerleber in 2021. Again, this is from the Fast Company website. The spy tech that followed kids home for remote learning and won't leave. Oh boy. All right. I have the entire article here. I am, again, not going to go over every single thing, although it was one of those I started highlighting things and then I didn't stop highlighting them. So again, we're going to get into this, and there is a lot of privacy issues, concerns. We're talking about kids, we're talking about minors, okay? So it's important that we at least know what's going on and what's on those laptops, what's on those student accounts, what's going on. The article starts off with a week after the pandemic forced Minneapolis students to attend classes online. The city school district's top security chief got an urgent email, subject line in all caps, alerting him to potential trouble, and then there was ding, 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 more and more and more. Jason Matlock is the top security chief there, and over the next 6 months, Matlock got nearly 1,300 similar emails from Gaggle, a surveillance company that monitors students' school-issued Google and Microsoft accounts. Through artificial intelligence and a team of content moderators, Gaggle tracks the online behaviors of millions of students across the U.S. every day. The sheer volume of the reports was overwhelming at first, Matlock acknowledged, and many incidents were utterly harmless. Hundreds of others suggested imminent danger. Some stuff seemed silly, some stuff was not good. In emails and chat messages, students discuss violent impulses, eating disorders, abuse at home, bouts of depression, and as one student put it, ending my life. At a moment of heightened social isolation, elevated concerns over students' mental health, references to self-harm stood out, accounting for nearly a third of incidents reported over a 6-month period. Nearly a year after the 74, the author works for a company called the 74. The 74 submitted public records requests, so FOIAs, to understand the Minneapolis district's use of Gaggle during the pandemic, and they got a trove of documents offer an unprecedented look into how one school system deploys a controversial security tool. It's a monitoring tool. It's not really security. There's a little bit of difference, okay? That grew rapidly during COVID-19 but carries significant civil rights and privacy implications. The data gleaned from those 1,300 incident reports in the first 6 months of the crisis highlight how Gaggle's team of content moderators subject children to relentless digital surveillance long after classes end for the day, including on weekends, holidays, late at night, and over the summer. What? Okay. In fact, only about a quarter of the incidents were reported to district officials on school days between 8 a.m. and 4 p.m., bringing into sharp relief how the service extends the school's authority far beyond their traditional powers to regulate student speech and behavior, including at home. The Gaggle, the tool, was pitched as a remote learning necessity, and it isn't going away anytime soon. Minneapolis officials reacted swiftly when the pandemic engulfed the nation and forced students to learn from the confines of their bedrooms, paying more than $355,000, including nearly $64,000 in federal emergency relief money, to partner with Gaggle until 2023. So they talk about mental health dilemmas with each alert. Matlock, the IT guy, and other district officials were given a vivid look into students' most intimate thoughts and online behaviors, raising significant privacy concerns. It's unclear, however, if any of them made kids safer. Independent research on the efficacy of Gaggle and similar services is all but non-existent. Independent research on the efficacy, that's how well it actually works, of Gaggle and similar services is all but non-existent. Now, in recent years, schools have ramped up efforts to identify and provide interventions to children at risk of harming themselves or others. Gaggle executives see their tool as a key to identifying youth who are lamenting over hardships or discussing violent plans. On average, Gaggle notifies school officials within 17 minutes after zeroing in on student content related to suicide or self-harm. As a parent, you have no idea what's going on in your kid's head, but if you don't know, you can't help them. Jeff Patterson, Gaggle's founder and CEO, if you don't know, you can't help them, makes a point. Okay? He says, goes on to say, and I would always want to err on trying to identify kids who need help. I have my note here. Sure, but I want to help. I don't necessarily want to get notified by you. Who are you? Who the heck are you, Jeff Patterson? Anyways. More importantly then too, where are these data pieces going? Okay, how long will you be keeping them? Where does the district keep them? Do you keep them? What laws are you subject to? Who do you share these pieces of data with? Will this affect a child's ability to get health insurance in the future? How about life insurance? Heck, even a credit card if their personal information is not erased. We know that everything that goes on a computer system is basically forever, and this company is contributing to storing, sorting, analyzing, and labeling all of this stuff, all of it. All during a time when we know our human brains are still developing and we might write things, say things that they will not apply as we gain adulthood. They don't apply. Where is this stuff going and why is it being sorted, stored, and labeled? Is it forever? Is it not? What's the retention rate? Who gets the stuff? And can it be guaranteed that it's destroyed? None of those answers, none of them are answered by any of this, okay? So going back to the article again, using surveillance to identify children in distress could exacerbate feelings of stigma, ultimately make students less likely to ask for help, said Jennifer Mathis. Most kids in this situation are not going to share anything anymore and are going to suffer for that. Absolutely, I would agree with that 100%. It suggests that anything you write or say or do in school or out of school may be found and held against you and used in ways that you had not envisioned. Absolutely. There are questions whether kids actually have a safe space to raise some of their issues in a safe way if they're stifled by surveillance. District officials acknowledged that Gaggle had captured student assignments and other personal files. Okay, the documents obtained by the 74 put hard evidence behind all of these privacy concerns. Okay, said Amelia Vance, the director of Youth Education Privacy and the Future of Privacy Forum, a Washington, D.C. based think tank. Amelia Vance. The hypotheticals we've been talking about for a few years have come to fruition, she said. It is highly likely to undercut the trust of students, not only in their school generally, but in their teacher, in their counselor, in the mental health problems workbook, in all of it, okay? And Patterson, of course, the CEO, shook off privacy reservations, whatnot. Though Gaggle only monitors student files tied to school accounts, he says, okay, he cites a middle school girl's private journal as a success story. He said the girl wrote in a digital journal that she suffered with self-esteem issues and guilt after getting, you can see the word there, okay? No one in her life knew about this incident, and because she had journaled about it, Gaggle, so a whole bunch of strangers were able to notify school officials, not even family, so they start with school officials, about what they learned. They were able to intervene and get this girl help for the things that she couldn't have dealt with on her own. These are kids. You're conditioning them to sit down, shut up, and not say anything. You never get the real story. I can't imagine if some things that I thought when I was younger would actually make it out onto the internet or forever. I don't know. I don't like this. Let me keep going. That's my personal opinion. Okay. But here's tools like Gaggle have become ubiquitous in classrooms across the country. They're everywhere. 81% of teachers reported having some such software in place in their schools. Though most students said they're comfortable with being monitored. Okay, 58% said they don't share their true thoughts or ideas as a result. So are you truly comfortable? No. And 80% of students say they're more careful about what they search online. Such data suggests that youth are being primed to accept surveillance as an inevitable reality. In return, she said they're giving up the ability to explore new ideas and learn from mistakes. Now, again, too, this is where, let me break off here for just a moment. As librarians, as trusted institutions, as one of the last places that really offer some sort of anonymity, libraries are still a safe place. And even the computers that we use in our system, we use a proprietary program called Deep Freeze. It erases what people do every time the computer is rebooted at the library. So when you use a publicly accessible computer at the library, your search history, everything that you've done is erased, okay? Looking at this in general, libraries, public libraries, not school libraries, not even the devices that are sent home with kids, not any of that. Public libraries seem to be becoming the last bastions of privacy right now. Something, again, to think about. I am going to stop this here right now. I'll go into a second part, all right? But yeah, this is good stuff to know about. There's more in the article. Come back for part 2. Thank you. Bye now.